President Obama had a very tepid critique of Hillary Clinton's campaign during a press conference yesterday. So let's watch, and then we'll break it down.
But I also believe that good ideas don't matter if people don't hear them. And one of the issues that Democrats have to be clear on is that given population distribution across the country, we have to compete everywhere. We have to show up everywhere. We have to work at a grassroots level, something that's been a running thread in my career. I won Iowa not because the demographics dictated that I would win Iowa. It was because I spent 87 days going to every small town and fair and fish fry and VFW hall. And there were some counties where I might have lost, but maybe I lost by 20 points instead of 50 points. There's some counties maybe I won that people didn't expect because people had a chance to see and listen to you and get a sense of who you stood for and who you were fighting for. And the challenge for a national party is how do you dig in there and create those kinds of structures so that people have a sense of what it is that you stand for. And that increasingly is difficult to do just through a national press strategy.
So he's basically saying, well, Hillary Clinton didn't have much of a strategy. She kind of leaned on the national press. I mean, that was his point at the end there. It's hard to do with just a national press strategy. And understand, WikiLeaks really showed that. I mean, going back to the primary, Debbie Wasserman Schultz basically emailing people at MSNBC saying, Morning Joe is not being fair. She sounded like Trump. Like, Morning Joe is not fair to Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Not fair to the Democrats. Sad. Don't make me go to your higher-ups. Like threatening, hey, I'm going to, go up the chain here and tell them, you better heel, you better fall in line. We, of course, know that at CNN, Donna Brazile was leaking questions to Hillary Clinton's campaign. So, she thought that, Hillary Clinton thought that it's, the writing's on the wall. It's already done. I won this. I'm anointed. This is my coronation. This isn't, they didn't take Trump seriously. Trump, they wanted him to win. I mean, they wanted him to win the primary, I should say. The Pied Piper candidates memo from WikiLeaks showed that basically the idea was, let's try to prop up the candidates who we think can't win in the general. Namely, Donald Trump was one of them. Ben Carson was another. Say, go to the media and say, oh no, we take them so seriously because they're really a real threat. Wink. And the whole idea was, no, they're not. So they didn't even think they could win the primary. So just make them go as far right as they can. And then the other viable candidates like Marco Rubio and Jeb Bush will follow them right, fall off a cliff. And then the general election will have a lot of material to say, oh, you were super far right in the primary. Now you're flip-flopping. They didn't have any clue what the fuck they were doing. Donald Trump obviously won the primary. Then in the general, they didn't take him seriously. And just look at what Hillary Clinton did. I mean, she was campaigning with LeBron James in Ohio. I get it. Okay, so LeBron James, of course, is big in Ohio for understandable reasons. But it's apples and oranges, Hill. This idea of, well, if you just have King James go out there and wave a magic wand, people of Ohio will go, well, if King James trusts her. No, people are not silly. They know what's going on in their own lives. They know, hey, my uncle lost a factory job and nobody gives a fuck about him. They know that the economy is separate from who their sports heroes are. So it's just a condescending way of running a campaign. I mean, she had every celebrity under the sun. She did a concert with fucking Bruce Springsteen and Katy Perry, and every major newspaper endorsed her. And they thought well, I mean, that's good, right? No, because in today's climate, as we warned you, everybody looked at that and they said, oh, so the establishment is backing Hillary Clinton. All the major newspapers, people don't fucking trust them anymore. Are you kidding me? First of all, nobody reads them. Second of all, of the people, if you hear, hey, the New York Times endorsed this person or that person, it's not to say the New York Times doesn't do some good work. Of course they do. But people go, oh, so the establishment endorsed her. That's the establishment press. So you could have all the newspapers in the country endorse her. She did. She could have all the Hollywood celebrities endorse her. She did. She could have all the sports stars endorse her. They did. It didn't do anything. And there was also this aura and this sense of like, they were calling the election before it happened in the smuggest way. Like Tim Kaine tweeting out pictures before the results came in, like, I'll never have to worry again about my daughter knowing whether or not she can be president. Pictures of him kissing his daughter, shattering that glass ceiling. And, you know, it was more about you than it was about the people of the United States of America. And that's why you failed. I'm with her, I'm with her, I'm with her. Shatter the glass ceiling. That's why they wanted to do their, what they thought would be a victory speech at the Jacob Javits Center, because it has a glass ceiling. So there was this sense of like, well, I mean, it's a fairy tale, right? This is what's happening. No, it's not a fairy tale. Certainly isn't a fairy tale for all the people who lost their factory jobs as a result of NAFTA, which your husband signed and you supported. So when Donald Trump, and that's the other part of this. So Obama said, quote, good ideas don't matter if people don't hear them. She simply got outworked. I mean, nobody talks about this, this angle of it. But Donald Trump basically campaigned nonstop through the entire general election. He went everywhere. Now, that's a hard thing to do, man. I mean, I remember I would, they'd show part of a rally of his on TV, and I'd be like, damn, this guy is like every 8 minutes he's doing a new speech at some random place in fucking bumblefuck Iowa. And, you look at that and you go, that's doing the groundwork. So I said, and it's still correct, that he didn't have much of a ground game. And when I mean ground game, like, for example, the infrastructure set up to get people to do early voting. Hillary Clinton had that. She had the machine behind her. He didn't have that machine behind her. But what did he do? He worked up genuine enthusiasm because he would go out there himself and give a rally everywhere. He may have been lacking, other aspects of the ground game, but he was doing a rally everywhere. So he campaigned nonstop. He went there and made people feel like, look, I'm fighting for you. I'm the billionaire for the common man, effectively. And Hillary Clinton, she got outworked, and that's why Obama said their good ideas don't matter if people don't hear them. But then the final aspect of this is, and this is the aspect that Obama misses and all the Democrats miss, or all the establishment Democrats miss, is that, guys, I hate to tell it to you, her ideas weren't that great. Like, okay, her ideas were better than Donald Trump's. That's not saying much. And also, his rhetoric on certain issues was better. His rhetoric on TPP, better. His rhetoric sometimes on foreign policy, better. So you have Hillary Clinton, who begrudgingly on some limited issues in just the platform said, okay, I concede to Bernie Sanders. Education plan, something, I'm with you. Anyway, let me go out there and say we're stronger together. We can break down your barriers, and barriers are bad, and America's already great. Everybody went, the establishment, the elites, I can't take it. Now, guys, I want to be clear about something. I'm not going after Hillary Clinton because I personally dislike Hillary Clinton. I'm going after her because she is the death of the Democratic Party if they keep going down this path. And again, it's not personal. It's what she represents and what she is. She is an establishment insider Democrat. She's a corporatist Democrat. She's a center-right hawkish Democrat. That is the death of the Democratic Party. So you couldn't pull the wool over people's eyes anymore and go out there and say, stronger together and break down your barriers, and do cliches and platitudes and have people vote for you, when the other guy's out there doing 1,000,001 rallies going, TPP said, she says I'm with her, I'm with you, the American people. I'm going to keep your jobs here. We're going to rebuild America. We're going to make America great again, believe me. So her ideas just weren't that great, man. Now, she's obviously, in my opinion, far superior on climate change, far superior on the Supreme Court, far superior on her tax plan, far superior on her regulation plan. She didn't want to eliminate the FDA and the EPA. That maniac does. But see, the point is, guess what? I'm making these arguments. Everybody in my audience goes, yeah, you know what, Kyle, you have a point there. She didn't make those arguments. Hillary did not make those arguments. Again, she was out there, stronger together, break down your barriers. Everybody's a sexist and a racist who supports Donald Trump. That you're not winning anybody over. You're not winning anybody over. I would argue to Obama, the ideas that she was pushing on the campaign trail weren't that great because she didn't actually highlight the areas where she's better than Donald Trump. She was the cliches and the platitudes, and we all know about her record and what she had fought for, the negative things in the past, Patriot Act, Iraq War, Syria, still wants to get involved there, deregulation of Wall Street, so on and so forth. So, number one, her ideas weren't even that great. Number two, the ideas were good. She didn't bring it up on the campaign trail. Number three, yeah, she got outworked. So, Obama's being too kind here. This is a very tepid criticism